Hey everyone, it is Monday, January 17th. The time is just before 8 p.m. and the temperature is around -4 degrees Celsius. And I'm here at Eglinton Station. And that was a pretty rare sight. An actual bus that's in service just rolled in. Normally it would be quite busy here, but with the weather being what it is, most of the buses have been canceled, and the subway is currently not operating. So I'll be heading out to Yonge Street here. And according to the TTC, it says shuttle buses are on the way, but I have not actually seen any of them. And I think the subway has been down between Bloor-Yonge and Lawrence for most of the day. So I need to head down to line 2, which is all the way at Bloor Street. So I guess I'm going for a walk. And I think this will be about 4 kilometers in total. And I don't think I should get used to this, walking on a sidewalk that's not covered in snow. This has been a rarity today. And I just looked it up, and I think this will be around 4 kilometers or so. Hey, there goes a bus. Looks like it's not in service. And the one behind it is also not in service. So this has certainly been a crazy day. There's some people walking on Yonge Street itself. We got hit with a monster snowfall last night and early this morning. You can see all the snow piled up and the poor conditions of the sidewalk. And I think I might take my chances over on the other side of Yonge Street. This will be the second time today I've walked south down this part of Yonge. And the second time I've done that with a camera in hand as well. So normally I'd be able to make this walk in about 40 minutes if I really move my legs. But I highly doubt that'll be the case on this one. I think the stretch south of Davisville, between Davisville and St. Clair, might be particularly bad. Hopefully the city has cleared those sidewalks, as there's no businesses along that stretch to clear it. And this is Manor Road, so this is the Yonge Davisville area in Midtown. I've sure recorded a whole lot of Yonge Street within the last 24 hours. All 3 walks that I recorded late last night included Yonge Street, as did the walks I recorded earlier today, and a live stream I just recorded a few hours ago. We could call this Yonge Street Palooza, I guess. But one of the reasons for that is I haven't been able to get on the subway and branch out from my neighborhood all that far, as the subway hasn't been running and buses are unreliable at best. It's been a long day. If I do see shuttle buses roaring by, I'll probably want to hop on one of them. So the next major intersection will be where we'll find Davisville subway station. And after that, it'll be St. Clair, then Summerhill, then Rosedale, and then finally, I can give my legs a break today and I'll be able to hop onto line 2. Always wondered about that pizza shab place. Well, at least the sidewalks have been pretty good thus far. Certainly a lot better than they were earlier. And there's a lot less other pedestrians to dodge. The roads also seem to be in much better shape. What is frustrating is the official TTC alerts have been having the same message for the last several hours, possibly all day, just saying shuttle buses have been dispatched. So if you didn't know any better, Might be stuck waiting for a shuttle bus somewhere. There was certainly a large crowd of people up at Lawrence Station when I streamed by there. And there's a number of people gathered in that Tim Hortons, and that's kind of salt in the wound. At cafes, bars, and restaurants can't have dine-in customers, so if you're stranded and you have no way home, you can't even go relax over a hot cup of coffee inside. There's Davisville Station over there. And that's the TTC headquarters. And this is what I'm dealing with. This has been the story of the day. I think every one of these steps should count as 2 or 3. Oh, I'm in the bike lane. I'm an idiot. I'm running on less than 2 hours of sleep. I'll give myself a pass for that one. Why is this car backing out? It's not dangerous at all. Right onto Yonge Street. There's a pickup truck that doesn't seem to be moving. Let's see if we can spot any trains rolling by. There's a subway rail yard just over there. And with the exception of the few buses I saw at Eglinton Station, everyone I see on the road seems to have a not in service sign on it. It's almost as if they didn't know this was coming and had absolutely no plan for it. Everyone was embracing for this big snowfall, but apparently the city wasn't, or at least the TTC. And here is Merton Street. I was here earlier today. And I'm about to walk under the K. Gardner Beltline Trail. And this was the furthest point south I made it. I might take my gloves off for a bit. Right, and here's the stretch where I thought the sidewalks might not be very good.
But
looks like they definitely sent one of those sidewalk plows. There's Mount Pleasant Cemetery on the left. And that's where we would see some subway trains going by if this were any other day, pretty much. And it's rare to see this much pedestrian activity along here. You can only assume that a lot of these people are just sucking it up and making the long trek. I did see a taxi on my way to Eglinton, but someone kind of ran in front of me, tapped on the glass, and the door popped open. Fair game, I guess. There goes a cab. And another one, and they were empty. They might have been on their way to make some calls or answer some calls.
But it's kind of different because, like,
this machine here seems to be clearing off the tracks. So it says there's a mechanical problem between Lawrence and Bloor-Yonge. If there's any good news here, it's that once I get up this hill, it'll be mostly downhill. At least from St. Clair, pretty much down to Rosedale. There's a look back up north, but the angle is down. And sometimes there's some events that have taken place over the last 24 hours that gives me some talking points on these walks, but I've kind of had my head in the sand for the past day. I do think this current stretch I'm on is the longest between subway stops. And given the grade I just marched up, it will certainly be the most difficult. So I think this will be Heath Street coming up. So we're almost at Yonge and St. Clair, one of the major Midtown Toronto intersections.
so good. I would do the same thing.
I think this has certainly been my most productive day, probably ever, in terms of anything I've ever done. At least if you include the last 24 hours, or even if you don't, as I kind of started just before midnight. I made 3 full-length videos last night and 1 short one, and 2 longer ones again this morning, and 1 shorter length one. And I did a live stream, and now this. So I think you can guess what I'm doing tomorrow. Where were these nice clear sidewalks earlier in the day? And here's Yonge and St. Clair. I think it's fair to guess that the subway isn't running. I think people have given up on the thought of waiting for a shuttle bus, hence the lack of crowd outside.
You should have seen this baby come.
All right, now it's time for some downhill sledding. Sledding? Not that I'm actually sledding. There's some people perhaps waiting for a bus that's never coming. F- to the TTC's communication department today. That's the east along St. Clair. That sucks having to carry a bag like that. Let's look west along St. Clair. There are streetcar tracks. I don't see any streetcars in operation. Let's see what the TTC service alerts now say. No service between Bloor-Yonge and Lawrence due to mechanical issues. Shuttle buses are on the way. They really need to take that part down. It was nice of that guy to walk so far to the left, square up his shoulders and not try to move out of the way.
Actually, he probably does.
It seems as if there's more people walking north, which I guess makes sense. People working downtown. are trying to get home. And we're 27 minutes in. So I think Google said 51 minutes. And if you're wondering what's compelling me to go on this journey, knowing full well that the subway isn't running, well, I have an obligation to take care of, something I want to take care of. There's a dog who needs to get fed and taken for a walk. And I committed to being able to swing by tonight and do that. And now the owner is really trapped and unable to go home and do that, so I think we have an obligation to our furry friends, and we also have an obligation to our obligations, and I quite like this little fellow, so it's really nothing that's going to keep me from doing this, even if this line 2 is down and I had to walk the whole way. Well, then I'd probably grab one of these taxis. That bus says 88A on it, and it's empty. I'm curious, what is the 88 bus? South Lee side. So that can't be right. Really, you just see the 97 on Yonge and shuttle buses, or the 320 at night. There's a Mustang. It's a rear-wheel drive car. Not exactly the ideal car for these conditions. All right, Johnny, you got 20 minutes to get there to beat Google's guesstimate. And the street here, Shaftsbury, is home to subway station number 4 on this journey. That's Summerhill. And we're walking through the Summerhill neighborhood. It's a pretty nice view of the northern downtown skyline straight ahead. And the Summerhill LCBO on the left. Formerly, I think, the North Toronto Rail Station. It's probably closing pretty soon. And where are the shuttle buses? Those taxis all had people in them. Look at this slop. So would I have gone out and taken a walk tonight? No, but I'm kind of glad I did. Any chance to see the city in a very unique and different state that you don't normally get to experience it is always well worth it. Right through a red light. Look at that. If a car thought it would make the yellow here, that could have been really ugly. That neighborhood over on the right is particularly nice.
Yeah. That's right. And you know what? I think Mike has the same thing.
Okay, we're a block away from the second last subway station, Rosedale. That is pretty. Perhaps that was a person who has been duped into thinking there might actually be a shuttle bus. I mean, the roads are easily good enough. I know there are some staffing issues. And I think the weather earlier knocked a few buses out of commission. But for a city of this size, just to be so silent on their lines of communication and just do nothing for people that rely on the subway, I think that's kind of beyond the pale, in my opinion.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that didn't have much say in if they could go to work or not. I think at the very least, the city should be comping everyone a cab or lift fare who would have otherwise been waiting for the subway. And although there's a scarcity of those, I don't really know how you'd administer that. Just kind of wishful thinking on my part, I guess. I think I just heard a subway train underneath. I was doing my best to keep right there. No, that was not a subway. Ah, subway. So it was just north of here where I called it quits last night. I think it was around 3:20 in the morning where I caught the 3:20 bus going north. What was interesting about that one is they're running the buses in groups of twos. So two buses would come within a minute of each other, and then there'd be a 45-minute wait for the next pair. And if that was by design, then I'd like to know the rationale behind that. Okay.
Do your thing.
And I'm almost downtown and the frequency of people is picking up.
Excuse me, do you know where is Subway?
Subway? Oh, it's down there. It's only going south-south. It's not going north.
East-west as well, I think.
East-west, yeah. It's not going north of Bloor.
East-west, I hope.
I want to take a 5065.
I don't think we're going south, but the subway's down that way.
Okay, thank you. It's near? It's near?
Just
Yeah, it's just down there.
Okay,
It's not too far.
thank you.
less than 5 minutes.
5 minutes?
Less.
Bus?
Bloor Street is where the subway is. So when you see Bloor Street, you're there.
Okay, okay.
Or if you see me, I'm going there, but I walk pretty fast.
Oh,
You can't miss it. There's a red sign that says TTC.
okay.
Today it's crazy.
No one is coming.
All right, take care. If it was any more complicated, I would just walk a little slower in front of her and say, follow me, but it's really impossible to screw that up. Sounds like an Uber or a Lyft. You got in the back seat. There's no one in the front. And I can see the subway entrance straight ahead. So I don't think I'll make the trip all the way to Yonge and Bloor. I'm just gonna pop into the subway here. Let me fish out my mask. And it looks like there's a small crowd of people waiting here. Waiting for what? There's Yonge and Bloor straight ahead. Well, that's not the best place to hang out. Ooh, how nice it'll be to hop on a working subway car. And on that note, I hope you enjoyed this unplanned walk. Starting at Eglinton Station, heading south, past Davisville, St. Clair, Summerhill, Rosedale, and into Bloor-Yonge Station, where rumor has it there's actually subway service. There's people waiting. These are all good signs. And look at that, next train 2 minutes. Although I find that a little hard to believe given the TTC's track record today. This seems like a good spot. So let me know your thoughts and comments down below. And if you wish to support the channel, there's links to my Patreon and YouTube channel membership in the description, as well as my Instagram account, and there's a link to PayPal as well. So I'm just gonna silently let the train roll in here. Probably have my mask on wrong, but at this point, I'm good. Oh, I hear a train, but I think it's going the other way. Anywho, thanks for watching. Oh, here it comes, and stay safe, stay warm. And I shall catch you in the next one. A couple of minutes faster than Google said. All right. The chariot of the people beckons. Catch you next time, guys.
Line 2, North Kennedy.
Westbound on line for that further currently particularly west corner of both stations.
And a Sherburne Station.